A little bit about us. We had worked for many, many years trying to do everything internally. Many of you know Crye Sodi, that was our IT guy, and he unfortunately died of cancer. But we were even outsourcing. We had 4 guys in India that were working on our website, and we decided to transition that wasn't working too well. Even though Crye was Indian and could speak the language real well, but wasn't working real well until we said we're going to outsource it. And that's where DeltaNET came into being, and I think right off the bat we should say we're extremely pleased with what they've done for us. And
I didn't ask Harold to say that.
He's totally checks in the mail, but we're pleased with what they've done for us. But one of the things we're probably especially pleased about is the CRM program that we had tried to use. Another one, I won't mention his name, but another CRM program, and it was difficult to use, didn't have much adoption of the agents to use it. And that was a frustration for us because we believe that just about all real estate is best done with relationship. It's a relationship business, and the tech guys all think that it's sold with technology, but it's sold with relationships. The technology just helps you with the relationship. And so when he told us about his CRM program, we were excited to hear about it because we weren't happy with what we had. And so we now have, I think we were 1,800, Cody?
Roughly 75%.
About 75%, and if you get 75% of your agents to go along with anything, that's a pretty good deal for us. And what we found, and probably most of you would agree, that most real estate agents do not have a CRM database. They don't have anything. One agent that been in the business probably 35 or 40 years, and I asked, she was complaining about her sales being off. I said, well, tell me about your CRM. How often are you staying in touch with your CRM? And she said, I don't have one of those. And she had a lot of sales in the years. And I said, well, how do you stay in touch with your customers if you don't have a CRM? I said, well, some of them I send them a Christmas card sometimes. I said, you know, that's really being diligent in it. You're really right on top of that CRM stuff. But so we know that this is working for us, and Cody can share with you that he's already made a sale off of it, and others have also. So the CRM program was probably one of the best things. You know, the website is working really, really well, and we're pleased with all of that. I don't know what all you want me to cover under this, and I can go on for days. I can give you some more stories, success stories, and.
So I've got a question that I think would be beneficial for this group. Is the conversation we had around the costs of it and passing on fees. Not that you have to get into exactly what you charge.
Well, I don't mind saying it all. With real estate agents, if you give them something free, I'm not sure they value it very much. And so we wanted to charge there, even though in the way our model is set up, we have an accounting department that gives the agents a statement every month for things that they do that's over and above what we provide for free. And so we said, we need a charge in there, even though it's a small charge. And so we charged $12.50. I said, wow, $12.50, that's like a couple of Starbucks, isn't it? And so we charge that because if they're getting it for free, do they value it? The biggest problem that we had, as I said earlier, is agents don't have CRM, they got nothing. And so we said, what are we gonna do to these folks? How can we get them to do CRM? Because they're not gonna sit there and enter them one at a time. And so we started talking about our database. What's a database? I don't have a database. What are you talking about? So we said, give me your cell phone. So we got their cell phone out. We were able to pull all the information of that, put it in a certain format, and then we were able to put it into the CRM. And the thing that they are so impressed with is that within that now CRM information, there are some automated things. I call it idiot-proof things. So if you make it automated for an agent, they love it. And it's automated for the agents in that every holiday, everybody that's in their cell phone is going to get a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy 4th of July. They're going to get something like that. I'm not selling houses like Cody, and so he's getting real customers, and I'm getting mostly bankers. So I'm in the database, and then the CRM, and all these emails going out. And I'm having people say thank you, but then I get this phone call. And the phone call is from an agent that we fired several years ago, 10 years ago really. And I said, well, I know what she calling me. And she said, hey, how you doing, how you doing? And I'm thinking, boy, this is gonna be an awkward phone call. What am I gonna say to her? And then I figured out, she got a happy 4th of July. First contact I've had with her in probably 10, 12 years, gonna be fired. So she's thinking, well, she thinks I want her back. I don't want her back. I'd lose a bunch of agents if she ever came back. But the secret there is, if you got ex-wives, ex-husbands, old girlfriends that your new wife didn't know about, you need to delete all those people from your CRM because they're gonna pull it off your phone and it's all in there.
Wow.
Cody, come up and tell him your success story. His success story actually made him money. And he takes after me, he likes money.
Hasn't closed yet, but we are in 9 different markets. And so we do an annual kickoff meeting every single January in all 9 of those markets. So last month, we were driving from Little Rock, Arkansas up to Bentonville, Arkansas, Walmart country, and I get a random phone call from a Texas number. Pick it up and, hey, is this Cody Crye? Yes, this is Cody Crye. How are you? I'm with so-and-so Realty in Texas. One of my friends knows you. They live in the Memphis area, and they said you're the national contact for real estate. Okay. And they told me who the friend was. I've talked to their friend 3 times in my life probably, but I pulled their contact info and put it on the CRM. I tell people anytime that I meet somebody or get their business card, we live in Nashville. I went out downtown 2 weekends ago and I got the Uber driver's card and I already put them in the CRM. I put the agent in Texas friend on my contact list, talked to him twice in my life, and the agent, they had a friend from Colorado, they were moving to Nashville. So I said, yeah, I'm more than happy to help them. And so by putting these people that I've talked to twice in my life on my CRM, I'm closing on a $760,000 house next Monday for them. Pretty much the exact same thing happened last week again. So this is a numbers game.
So that will pay for his CRM for the rest of his entire life.
So another question that I think is really relevant, because I do know, I'll phrase it this way, a lot of companies struggle with this, and a lot of companies do different things if you ask different companies. But Cody, you were sharing some things with me about how you guys do the training or how you're pushing that adoption, I guess, on a continual basis. Why don't you share what you guys are doing or have been doing?
And so upon merging with y'all, what we did is we signed up all of our agents on the CRM. Did not give them an option to opt in, we gave them an option to opt out. Because if you tell them you want to opt in, no, they'll give you 1,000 excuses. So automatically opted them in, and then in our different markets, we either had our marketing directors go around and talk about various level 1, level 2, level 3 CRM trainings, or we would hire CRM professionals in those markets to go around and train on that right there. And I think that really helped a lot. Our previous CRM that Dad mentioned, our maximum agent adoptions we had with them was about 10 to 15% on average, and right now we're at 75% with DeltaNET, so it is working.
Around 3,000 agents, 9 cities, Memphis, Nashville, Chattanooga, Little Rock, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntsville, Alabama, Knoxville, Atlanta, Northwest Arkansas, that's Bentonville. When I say Bentonville, people eyes glaze over Bentonville, never heard of it. I said, you ever heard of a little company called Walmart?
Yeah.
You know where they're headquartered? They say, New York, Chicago? No, Bentonville, Arkansas, never heard of it.
So I think one of the things, and actually I'm on a panel tomorrow and I was doing research, just using AI to do some research. I'm like, oh, I wonder what AI views as the most valuable data in real estate for real estate brokerage. And if you have an opportunity, I would encourage you to actually ask AI that question. And you'll see some and ask different, so ask Grok if you're on version 3. I think you gave the best answer actually. But it's just, I'd encourage multiple, and then actually engage or like interact with it. Okay, why do you think that? Okay, what is the actual value of that data? And how can you expand on that value? How can a company take advantage of it? I'll be talking about that during the panel. But to me, this just underscores the value of actually just doing something. And I know the struggle is to get your agents to do things. And I thought, well, with them having such high adoption numbers, it was worth hearing their approach to it a little bit.
We got a little more specific with them when we, as Cody said, they had to opt out. But we had made sure that the marketing director, that anybody who's in training, you can't just go with real estate agents and stand in front of a sales meeting and say, this is how you do it. You have to sit down with them one-on-one and either show them how to do it and then they do it, or you actually have to do it for them, at least the beginning part of it, getting them all set up. Then for the $12.50 that we charge, you could charge a lot more than that, quite truthfully, but in the research we'd done, we said, there's a top producer that a lot of the RE/MAX people have used over the years. Maybe some of y'all are familiar with that. I think they were $100 for that particular software for their CRM. And so we want to be something that they actually use, and so we're going to force them to set up something. We actually said this, and it's terrible to admit it, but we actually said, if you're not doing the CRM, you're a dumbass. If you're not doing the CRM, you're a dumbass. And they laughed, but then they said, I guess I don't want to be a dumbass, so I guess I'm going to do it. So that's how we got the adoption from that. But it worked.
He did say that in about 7 different kickoff meetings in front of a few hundred agents every single time. So he's not lying on that.
Does it make sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So one more thing I want to share, then take questions on this aspect of it. One thing I do want to mention is the approach that Crye-Leike took as well with their CRM is more of a full intranet platform. So they have taken the approach, if you can't get into it, but as I logged into it, I actually went into theirs last night and saw it. And I was like, wow, oh boy, wow, they did that with it. It's just, sometimes it's fast because they can do what they want in there for the most part. And they've really built out over 200 custom widgets in there. So really build it out, and it's just a very logical flow. That's what, so if you're a realtor with them, and where that resonated with me, I don't care what kind of business you have, you're looking for ways to simplify your business for your people. Because the struggle of any business, including mine, is you have a platform over here and one over here. I mean, they're all over the place. And I deal with even, I'll say the stupid questions of, well, I don't know what our employee handbook says about that. How can you not know? I mean, you have it electronically, you have it in print, you have it. So unless you take a very strategic approach to making sure things are in one place or easily accessible, and that really cuts down on the training necessity, the confusion, you know where to get things, that I want to, because that's not something that we necessarily did for you guys, maybe you guys did.
Probably one of the other reasons in our mindset for Delta Media was that, again, we had tried to do it for many years. People that do the program, and then we went off-site to India and had some new guys doing programming, and they'd get far along, and it never was working very well. And I said, well, they're already doing it for a bunch of other real estate companies, and so surely there's best practices there, not having to reinvent the wheel for us. We're not having to come up with everything. There's a bunch of things that other people have come up with that work really, really well, and so why not use somebody that's local here in the good old US of A, and that we can understand them. It doesn't sound like we're on a call deals and can hardly understand what they're saying on the other end, but that was in our mind also. Best practices, they're already doing it for others. Whatever they've learned from those things, we'll be able to take advantage of that and utilize that also.
Yeah, so what specific questions as it relates to this for Harold Crye Department? What am I?
How do you consider adoption at 75%? Is that just who's paying for it, or is that they have to use it?
There's 1,800 paying for it.
Okay.
That's pretty good adoption when we had, 10% with the prior one. And they're seeing the results is the main thing, because, agents, even at $12.50, which is a giveaway price, even at $12.50, they would be dropping that if they didn't see some value in. And again, because we're also sitting down with them one-on-one, you can't just assume because they're paying for it that they're using it. One phone call. So I didn't, it's 4th of July. Who knew that somebody's gonna get an e-card from me, and a long lost kind of friend.
Yeah, I do want to say something about that too, because I think that's an important metric to really pay attention to, because there's a lot of, we're a tech provider in the space. I think tech providers abuse that phrase, the adoption phrase. And so I think you owe it yourselves to dig into what that means. Are they logging in and doing things? Do they have automations set up that are meaningful, and do you consider that adoption? Those are real questions to ask, because there have been providers in the space, I don't know if there are today, that it's a little misleading. You say, hey, we have 92% adoption. I know that's not true. I know for a fact, there's no way. So
We did have our marketing directors in every single market actually calling each individual agent and setting up one-on-one meetings with them to work on pulling their contacts out of their phone or an Excel spreadsheet or whatever, and actually uploading that and getting them on just a basic campaign. They do something called the My Customer for Life campaign that pretty much uses AI almost to, if I send you the first email and you click on it has health and wellness, cooking, national real estate, you click on health and wellness, it will begin to kind of tailor what you want to click on every single time for the forward emails going forward from them. So we did set up individual agents or meetings with every single agent.
Who's been through the ninja training in there? Ninja training? How many times do they say you're supposed to contact the customer?
Like 33.
36.
36.
36
Four
times.
personalized touches.
36 times. Just doesn't catch them 36 times, but it's touched them probably at least a dozen times without them having to think about it. If they do anything additional, then it's a home run.
Yep, if they can answer their birthday, their spouse's birthday, if they really fill it in.
Now that spouse's birthday, you gotta put some information in there. We're taking what's on your cell phone, which is probably just their name and phone number and email address. But if you're really gonna work it, yeah, there's the additional things that you can put on there. House anniversary, you know what they call a house anniversary? And you can put those type of things in there also.
So any other questions as it relates to adoption?
How long did it take you to set up?
We're about a year into our partnership with Delta, so now it's roughly about a year.
Would you say you had more people transitioning from your partner CRM to like
So it was a pretty big jump. Nobody was really happy. I think they were more just complacent with the prior CRM. So as soon as we announced that we were going to pretty much a full tech stack with the CRM in it, most did make the jump right then.
Do your agents have the ability to like manage their transaction flow throughout the CRM too? So like, does it integrate with dot loops, price loop, whatever it is?
You guys
that-
integrated? Are they?
You are, I think, with Dotloop, but you can.
Well, yeah, I don't know if they are.
But they're using
Yes.
charts.
Yeah, so yeah.
I was gonna share that, because
We're probably at the CRM 101 right now, and some are going into 2.0.
Sure.
We're at the, for the CRM part of the right, but there's additional that is, and some will never get past the one. But there are some that are wanting to race ahead and get into the next version.
I do want to say something about that. I think the most valuable thing, one of the most valuable things of that transaction data is the ongoing, then facilitating a relationship with those people instead of it not happening, which was, so I think that's important. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a crucial point, is we have our back office attached to it, and in order for them to even pull a form on a form like very, everything in our checklist, when someone goes on the contracts off of our CRM and gets the agent that way, so I talk about adoption, if you integrate that, I think you catch the last 25-30%.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have 3,000 agents. So it's a long group.
You first.
Okay, just a question. I know you guys do a lot of trainings online. I know Franklin's helped us with trainings in the past. Do you have a CRM training that we could use for our agents for like a session or an hour training or whatever?
I do. We just launched DeltaNET Academy, so it's a per widget training. So each widget in our system, not custom, our default widgets, they have a training course on each one. It's about 5 to 10 minutes long video,
Okay.
and then about 5 to 6 questions per widget. We do have 3 currently in there on agents running their business in scenarios using the platform.
Do you do interactive ones?
We do,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
can I say something about that? Because I think that's, so historically, we've stayed out of it. Because a lot of times we're serving enterprise clients that are doing their own thing. But I have to be honest with you, Q4 of last year, we kicked off an initiative to start putting together training in our LMA within the system. And we have companies then that are taking it, making it their own. We don't care. But we're even going into not just the tech training, which, as you know, the agents don't care about, but the more, how do you run your open house? I mean, it's the stuff that you feel like you shouldn't have to do, but you do have to do.
Okay.
So, but we are doing that because we see that a lot of companies still, I use the phrase struggle with it, and if nothing else, there's templates they could copy it.
So you had mentioned that you do in-person trainings, like your beginner and level 3 is more like a power user.
Correct.
I was curious about how often you are offering that, and different levels of in-person.
Good question on that. It kind of depends. We have something called Crye-Leike College that we do monthly training at headquarters in every single market. So we talk about it then. If you want to set up a personal one-on-one meeting with the marketing director or a CRM specialist in that market. Normally, off the bat, we were doing office-wide trainings. As soon as we merged with Delta, now we're not doing that as often, just because most agents have been through that 1, 2, or 3 training. So normally it's a monthly either Crye-Leike college class or just a one-on-one meeting with the marketing director.
My question is just about agents and whether you had any pushback about getting information from their phone. So we're Delta users, we manually add people to everybody's database when they close and we set them up for my customer for life. Would that involve me publishing a letter to everybody swearing I would never take their contact? So I'm thinking, I would love to have their phone, but I don't know if
I
they
just would never think that someone would steal it. We haven't had that problem, no one's ever voiced that.
We haven't had any actual in-person agents tell us that. I'm in a Nashville Facebook group and somebody was complaining about their broker and that they believe their broker's gonna steal their contacts. And I responded back to them one-on-one and said, if your broker's stealing your contacts, you're probably gonna find a new broker.